I, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, do solemnly swear.
An equal rights icon and brilliant mind who achieved near rock star status. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has died at 87 years old.
Some people thought I was too old for the job. I'm one of the longest tenured justices.
Tonight, the vital legacy she leaves behind for political leaders in Ohio.
She laid the groundwork, and so it would be irresponsible of us to not pay homage to all that she did for us.
And what this means for the future of our nation as a whole. 10 TV News at 11 begins now. Candles are being placed outside the Supreme Court in Washington, D.C. Hugs are being exchanged and tears are being shed. Ruth Bader Ginsburg changed the trajectory of our country from that very building. She was a bright light on the bench for many women and many Americans as a whole. Tonight, that light has gone dark. Ruth Bader Ginsburg died at 87 years old. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. I'm Yolanda Harris. Tonight, we will hear from an Ohio lawmaker who says she is devastated after hearing the news, and we'll look at how she inspired younger generations as the so-called notorious RBG. But we begin with Ruth Bader Ginsburg herself and how she came to be a household name in our nation. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a star in the legal world, but most Americans learned her name in 1993 when President Bill Clinton tapped her for the Supreme Court.
I, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, do solemnly swear.
Poised and soft-spoken, she was a native New Yorker with a stellar resume, and only the second woman ever picked for the nation's highest court. But decades earlier, after graduating from Columbia Law School, Ginsburg had to fight her way along the career path. She had the full support of her husband Martin, but being Jewish, a woman, and a mother, she said, were three strikes that put her out of the game. Rejected by law firms, she took a job as a law clerk, then a professor. In the 1970s, she started the Women's Rights Project at the ACLU.
Having experienced discrimination, she devoted the next 20 years of her career to fighting it.
Ginsburg took on a series of landmark cases dealing with gender equality. She argued 6 cases before the Supreme Court and won 5. And she welcomed President Clinton's nomination, not just as a personal achievement, but as a step forward for women.
It contributes to the end of the days when women, at least half the talent pool in our society, appear in high places only as one-at-a-time performers.
The Supreme Court listed Justice Ginsburg's death as cancer. Her fight with the disease was a valiant one. Ginsburg's health issues became public in 1999. That's when she had surgery for early-stage colon cancer. 10 years later, she went through the same process for pancreatic cancer. And nearly a decade after that, she had 2 cancerous growths removed from her left lung. She was treated this year as well on her liver. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine quickly responded to the news. He wrote in part, her work ethic, her devotion to the court, her own fight to break down barriers, her long friendship with Justice Antonin Scalia, even though they were opposites philosophically, and her courageous fight against cancer stand as examples to all of us. Justice Ginsburg also had an incredible impact on female lawmakers here in Ohio. 10 TV's Bryant Somerville is at the Ohio Supreme Court with their emotional reaction. Bryant?
Yolanda, certainly a national story tonight, but much like everything else, this has a trickle-down effect even right here in Ohio. Tonight, we continue to see the condolences come in from politicians across the state and across the aisle. A couple hours ago, 10 TV received a statement from Ohio Supreme Court Chief Justice Maureen O'Connor about the passing of Justice Ginsburg, and she says, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg used her considerable talents to fight for equal protection under the law for all, regardless of race, gender, religion, sexual identity, disability, or national origin. America has lost a jurist with a conscience, true, consistent convictions, civility, a sense of humor, and a love of the law. America has lost a lodestar. I, along with so many who admired and respected RBG, am truly devastated by her passing. Rest in peace. Now, I also had a moment to speak to Ohio House Minority Leader Emilia Sykes this evening after she tweeted this, saying in part, she, of course, talking about Justice Ginsburg, fought for all of us, and we will be forever grateful for her, especially young female lawyers like me who, because of her, knew we could be successful, as she always held firm against discrimination. Now, on a Zoom interview tonight, Sykes first and foremost sending condolences to Ginsburg family, saying that we knew her, Americans knew her as an icon and a justice. Her family knew her, though, as a mother, a grandmother, a wife. Aside from that, she says Justice Ginsburg's iconic moments with women's rights, with discrimination, helping to lay the foundation for women in our country, she says that is the true legacy of this Supreme Court justice, and it is one that will always be remembered.
She laid the groundwork. And so it would be irresponsible of us to not pay homage to all that she did for us, and all that her legacy will continue to do, because somebody had to be the first. And she was willing to do that. And thank goodness she was.
And Sykes telling me that she hopes this country will take a moment, use this time to remember Justice Ginsburg's life, not to use this time as a political fight, saying there is a time for that, but right now we should all honor Justice Ginsburg, a woman who gave so much for causes, for justice, and for our country. Live in downtown Columbus tonight, Bryant Somerville, 10 TV News.
All right, thank you, Bryant. While in her 80s, Justice Ginsburg captured attention from those who were sometimes just a quarter of her age. Due to her resilience in the gym and her unparalleled work ethic, she became known as the notorious RBG, and she completely embraced it.
It was beyond my wildest imagination that I would one day become the notorious RBG.
Notorious RBG became the title of a book about her life, as well as the title of a documentary. Of course, we cannot ignore that we are only about 45 days away from the presidential election. Both President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden said they were saddened by the news.
She led an amazing life. What else can you say? She was an amazing woman, whether you agreed or not.
She practiced the highest American ideals as a justice, equality and justice under the law. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg stood for all of us. But there is no doubt, let me be clear, that the voters should pick the president, and the president should pick the justice for the Senate.
And as you just heard, it wasn't long before the talk turned to who will sit on the Supreme Court next. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said something very different from Vice President Biden. He quickly issued a statement writing in part, President Trump's nominee will receive a vote on the floor of the United States Senate. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says that should wait until the presidential election is decided so the people can make their voices heard. Republicans have a majority in the Senate and could approve a Trump nominee quickly, so you can expect an historic fight in Congress. And here's a reminder of how the nomination process works. The nomination is sent to the Senate Judiciary Committee. There are confirmation hearings and a committee votes. A simple majority vote is needed, and that's 51 members. Our coverage of this historic passing continues online at 10tv.com and on our 10TV News app. We'll also be back on the air tomorrow, beginning bright and early at 5 a.m. with more on Justice Ginsburg's life and legacy.